This podcast is brought to you by Mouthfong Tea.
本节目由茂丰茶行赞助播出。
この番組はご覧のスポンサーの提供でお送りします。
Welcome back to Rich Audio. In today's episode, we have two very special guests. One is Sean, who I think has a lot of potential to become a great leader. Another is my good friend David, who I go to when I have questions about management or leading. In today's episode, we will talk about how to manage a team, how to expand your team, how to become a better leader, and how to manage a team with different people. Sean, welcome to my podcast. This is David, my classmate. He studies history and geography.
So hi, my name is Sean. I'm 18. I'm from Canada, Toronto, Canada. I'm here in Taiwan for a volunteer teaching experience, and I'm always interested in learning more about Taiwan and all the different beauties it has.
我的中文名叫杨成汉，那英文名叫David，所以等一下与会的人会叫我大卫。那今年24岁，从台北市立大学历史与地理学系毕业。那曾经有参加过这个国民党的营队，对，关于青年领袖营的部分。
Do you remember the last time I told you that I think you have potential in leading?
Yes.
Can you tell us some memorable experience in management or just leading, being a leader in general?
So I think there's a lot to learn whenever you're put in a leadership position. I think being a leader means you're changing to and adapting and being flexible to an environment that's ever so changing, and being okay with change and being adaptive and just almost being the calm voice in a storm. And I think that's a leadership quality that is hard to achieve, but it's a goal that's ongoing that I'd encourage everyone to partake in.
大卫，你觉得就是作为一个领导者需要有什么特质？
刚Sean 也讲说这个 challenge， 然后我觉得是因为你要领导别人之前，你要先对自己有一个足够的认识，然后产生这个自信。你有自信才可以有办法去面对这些挑战。
在去年的这个海外志工英语营，I put a volunteer TA in your class without telling you. He just pop in, eating some leftovers from the TA. How do you manage him? How do you make it make sense for him to be there?
Yeah, no, I think that's an excellent question. And as a team leader, there's always going to be challenges that come along in your journeys. And I don't think it's necessarily about identifying a problem, but it's learning to have conversation, to work together, to find strengths, to find weaknesses, to see how you can work together. And I think that's, as a leader, you can't necessarily change others, but you can learn to change yourself and change the environment to better suit each other.
What are some biggest challenges you faced in your management roles? Not necessarily in Taiwan, John. Just
So I think management is a very challenging task in itself, because every person is unique in their personality, their working styles, their communication styles. I know in Taiwan, I experienced people are very direct and sincere when they say something. So in Canada, it's very much about how you can say something without directly saying something. So all those communication styles together, it can be a very challenging thing to work with. But communication, I think, is one of the things where when you're talking about management, you talk about leadership, that's one of the challenges.
yeah, that's an interesting idea. But actually, I think that Taiwanese people are less direct. 大卫，你觉得
我觉得要分情况，因为台湾是个多元的一个社会，那受到美国，那有部分是中国日本的影响，所以我们的台湾的一个文化是非常多的。那比较偏美式教育的人，他可能会比较直接。那可是，在大部分80%的年轻人来讲，大概讲话会比较没有那么直接一些，所以这个的确是一个在与别人沟通的一个挑战。
So Sean, can you tell us why do you think Taiwanese are more direct?
I think Taiwanese people, maybe it's the environment that I'm around or the area that I grew up in, but I find that in Canada, they use the term sugarcoat. So they make it sound, oh, you're doing a good job, even though like in Taiwan, they'll tell you, oh, you're not hitting the standard, you're not doing well enough. So I think it's a culture difference when it comes to strictness and conformity to those expectations. And in Canada, it's a lot more relaxed. So it's there's less expectations. Just do what you think is right. In Taiwan, is this is right, and you have to hit these standards.
I see. So in Canada, you're praised more. Is that right? Sean, can you tell the audience how you develop your leadership skills?
That's a very good question. So I think developing your leadership skills is about using them. So it's hard to read a book and say, hey, I know leadership now. It's about being on the ground, speaking with your team, learning what suits them best and how you can best work with them. And I think that's the best thing a leader can do is to be down there and to see what they're experiencing, see how they're feeling. And that's the best way to build the leadership experience and to be there learning with them, just like how they're learning themselves.
To be a team player.
That's right.
Okay, David, can you give some advice to who is looking to improve their leadership skills?
这个问题有一点大。那不过就我所想的，如果想要增进自己的一个领导能力的话，可能要多经历一点事情，然后视野开阔一些，保持一个这个开放的心胸，然后去看待很多事情，才不会有这个傲慢与偏见，对，才能去好好的去跟团体做协作，或者是领导大家这个。
Okay, this question is for both of you. What advice would you give someone who wants to become a leader?
You want to start?
我认为说，这个比较偏个人的天性，一个性格，所以如果要从你本来没有一个领导特质，然后你也没有想要成为一个领导者的话，那你想要变成具有领导者的一个特质的话，我觉得是比较难一些的。但如果你本身具有这个特质，那你去做这件事情会比较简单一些。对。
我是觉得 I think it's important. I agree. It's hard because it's a personality. It's a culture shift. But as long as you come with an open mind and you want to learn and you're curious about other people. I want to learn more about my team. I think that's the best way to be a leader and to be open to learning and being okay to be wrong yourself as well. And I think that's what a leader is really about.
我跟大卫之前有谈过，就是你有画一个表格，就是可能最上层就是那个leader， 然后中间就是他可能有一些决策能力，然后最下面就是专门做事的这样子。那大卫，你可以稍微讲一下这个部分吗？
这个主要是从行政学的一个概念转换过来的。那一个组织的形成，那你在最上位的人，就是等于说总经理或者是 CEO， 他们做决策的时候，80%是大方向，那20%可能是细项。那到了中间的管理阶层，它可能是50-50，就是50%的这个决策，50%的这个实体的施行细则。那到了最底层，那它是80%的这个施行细则，20%的这个战略上的一个建议。
Sean, what do you think about this theory?
If I'm understanding correctly, the different levels of leadership and how much attention they're able to give, is that
The leader can make the big decisions, the middle one can make small decisions, and the bottom ones can be the ones that do the tasks. Do you get it?
what's the question?
就
问题是什么？
问题是说，就是有一些领导人，然后他在对于说你细项的控制上面，
对，
那不是只有给一个方向，像您刚刚有讲说这个台湾的一个文化就是对就是对的，而不是说你自己去做你觉得对的事情。那作为一个台湾的风气是说，假设你是一个领导者，那你必须每一项都要掌握到，所以会规定的。有些人的风格是规定的比较死板一点，就是你一定要做这个。对，所以问题会出现说，他虽然身为一个领导者，但他没有领导者的特质。对。
Why do you think these leader do this control thing, that they control everything that of their team, so that every detail is tailored to what they want?
Okay.
And do you think that this is a good thing or a bad thing?
Hold on. I think it's important for someone to have accountability to be able to see details of every aspect of a job because in reality, when we're all focused on our own tasks, we often miss things. We're super focused on our responsibilities. So someone to oversee that and to ensure that we all stick together, I think is important. Whether that's always effective or not is a conversation for I guess around maybe different levels of governance, maybe different industries. But I think it's important for leaders to be able to know every single corner, every small detail, in the sense that ultimately they're accountable and they should be able to answer for these items.
Sean, how do you manage a diverse team?
Okay, I thank you for that question because coming from Canada, there's often people from many different cultural backgrounds, racial backgrounds, socioeconomic backgrounds. And I always like to say my best piece of advice would be to have a conversation, to talk, to understand their perspective, to understand my perspective. And that doesn't necessarily mean come to an agreement. Like there's the English phrase agree to disagree. But it's just about understanding each other and kind of capitalizing on each other's best strengths and like working together collaboratively.
Sean, would you tell us a good story from your time being a leader? This leading experience changed you, make you become a better leader.
So this past summer, I was able to work with a group of 5 other very strong, very talented youth from both Canada and United States of America. And I think that we, as a success story, we were able to take our strengths and each other's interests, and we were able to make it into an engaging experience for the students at Taipei Namur Guoxiao. And like we had opportunities where a volunteer that had strengths in music was able to teach a music class that culminated in a performance as our year end or a term end performance. So I think there's a lot of success stories, and those definitely don't come right away. It definitely involves conversation, understanding each other, maybe sometimes scheduling, budgetary concerns. But I think it's ultimately a celebration of highlighting each other's strengths and making that a wonderful experience for all that are in the team and out of the team as well to experience.
Yes, I have to say it's very impressive that you are able to teach something of your interest other than just English classes. That no offense to the training people, but the training is mostly focused on pure English teaching, classroom environment. It's manufactured, I'll say. But you guys made the camp, because it's in summer English camp, much more fun and much more different than just a normal English class. Great job.
就 曾经有参加过，刚刚有说过这个国民党营队，那他是打一个广告，它是一个长风文教基金会青年领袖营。那在那个营队里面呢，你可以去学习每一个领域的专家，然后有产业界，有学术界，也有这个政治界。那透过与他们学习，然后在营队结束之前，因为我们营队为期有10个月，那在这一年年底的时候会做一个这个创新服务计划。那我做的是一个最近比较热门的议题，叫做地方创生。我不知道在座有没有听过？
可以解释一下。
对，那地方创生这个主题就是说，你要如何结合地区一个社区社群的一个资源，然后去做一个这个地区的推广想办法将文化结合这个经济，然后使得这个人民的一个生活有所提升。对。
I think leadership really shows is that it's not about whose job it is, but rather you're here with the collective goal of the mission, which is to have that show run smoothly. So I don't think it's necessarily broad, but if it becomes an unhealthy cycle where you're overloaded by other people's responsibilities, I think that's a good time to express that and to let them know that, hey, like I'm here for the team, but the team isn't here for me. I think that it's important as a leader to know when that line is. I think that's the perfect ideal characteristic.
那大卫，你觉得这个所谓的这个界限到底在哪里？就是什么时候，像刚才讲的嘛，你什么时候到底应该要不要再介入了？
就有时候互相帮忙，就是什么时候就是你帮忙太多，你就帮别人在做他们工作。
哦，这个 Shy 可能没什么经验，因为在台湾的大学这个报告的部分就会有这个就是搭便车的情况，互相帮忙是可以，可是因为能力的不足，就是因为你要一起合作，起码你的能力要相当。对，比如说假设我们找一位国小的同学，那跟大学生合作，那肯定是大学生的会去引导小孩子，对，会变成一个上跟下的关系，就是因为你的能力好，所以你会去帮忙能力比较没有那么好的人，但因为人都是会有这个自尊也好，或者是自己的一个看法也好，所以会导致说情感上的一个矛盾，理性上可能没什么大问题，但情感上会不太舒服。对，所以这个界限可能就是要靠对方的心情来看，说你要帮到哪里这样子。
Thank you, Sean and David, for being on my show. Especially Sean. I hope we'll see you again on my show. That's all for today. Thank you.